everybody. Welcome back to the Detour Ahead podcast, the show where we just talk about Pokemon for 3 hours, which I'm sure is what this is going to turn into. I'm your host, Riley, joined, of course, by Mr. Colo Chu.
Hello.
And no one else. Fuck everyone else. We're the cool guys. Everyone else sucks.
No more guests on Detour Ahead. No more.
Ever again.
Who was the last one? Anaru? Anaru ruined it for everybody.
Anaru has never been on our show.
No. Oh, was that was
Variety Hour.
Who was the last guest we had then?
Demi-Glue to talk about Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Demi ruined it for everybody. Actually, I forgot Demi edits this shit.
Yeah, no. We can't be
We love you, Demi. Well, you can come on again. You didn't ruin it. Who else do we blame?
Well, the guest we had on before that was
Let's blame Jason ruined it for everybody. Jason was the first one.
yeah.
But no, welcome to Detour Ahead, everybody. I've been Colo Chu.
You've been Colo Chu? Where are we going? We just got here.
It's where you just wrote that. That's our backlog for.
That's the end of the podcast.
That's our backlog for Christmas time. Is those
just like a 2-minute episode?
No, it's just going to be the intro, witty banter for like maybe a few minutes, and then the outro, and that's it. 7-minute podcast.
Yep. The perfect podcast, like 7 minutes, in and out.
In and out, 7-minute adventure.
Have you, fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. It's over.
Look, you started the podcast way too fast. I had a whole bit planned out for this episode, and, like, it's gonna be funny, but you, like, completely, like, jumped right in there with the fucking intro, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you did the intro last time, bitch. It's my turn.
Do you want to hear my bit?
Sure, tell me your bit.
Or do you want me to save the bit for another time?
No, do the bit.
I was gonna say, hey everybody, welcome to Detour Ahead. Today we have Riely. Today we have me, Colo Chu, from the podcast Detour Ahead, and Riely from the podcast Pokemon Variety Hour.
But hey, if anything, I'm Riely from the podcast The Issue Crew. Okay.
It was between that and it was one of the two.
But yeah, that's a good meme.
That was gonna be a good meme because you weren't expecting that and you were gonna laugh, but now it's all ruined because you had to jump the gun.
Hello, Steven Universe from Steven Universe.
from the Cartoon Network show, Steven Universe. It's such a good meme. It's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Anyway,
Pokemon.
I was gonna go with. I guess Pokemon is small talk. Look, I guess they're basically the exact same thing at this point.
Yeah. What have you been doing this week, Pokemon?
Oh, how was your Thanksgiving? There's a thing that was recent.
It was good. You know, I basically had 3 Thanksgiving dinners. So the timeline of Thanksgiving dinners for me was last Thursday, not Thanksgiving, but the Thursday before that. I went to a church Thanksgiving dinner thing with my grandparents. And the whole conceit of me going to this church Thanksgiving thing was that my grandmother was not going to make a turkey because she's old and sick, and it's hard for her to do things. But then she decided she was making a turkey, and my mother also had a turkey, and also really didn't want to go to my grandma's house. So on actual Thanksgiving, I went to my grandma's house, and I just had a Thanksgiving dinner with my grandparents. And then yesterday, Friday, I had Thanksgiving dinner with my mom.
Nice. I had one. Yeah, I had one. It was nice. So my family's not crazy. But when we get together and we start drinking, because everybody is of age now, because I think the youngest is like 19, but family dinners makes everybody 21.
I feel like I could not get away with drinking in front of my grandmother. Like, even when I walk in there next year and I'm 21, and I'm like, hey, Jim, my grandmother's husband, Jim, you want to pour me some of your whiskey? I don't know if that'd fly.
The first year's a little rough. It's always awkward, but yeah. So basically, everybody's allowed to drink at family occasions, regardless of age. I think the youngest you have to be is like 18. I think you have to be in college in the family. So if you're
Oh,
in
they
college,
don't
you
even
can.
care about what the law says. At
Oh
least
no,
mute your
family
Switch,
occasions don't
Colo.
care. But
At least mute your Switch, Colo.
is my Switch picking up?
I just heard a sparkly sound briefly. It's not picking up consistently, but when it
That's
gets a
my
little
bad.
loud, it's like boo.
No, that's my bad. But yeah, so it's all like contained within the house and everything. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, no, I did.
It's not like people are gonna find me anyway, so it's fine.
I'm pretty sure it isn't even illegal to drink alcohol within the confines of your own home as long as it's purchased by
Oh,
like
I
a
don't know.
guardian.
I don't know. I don't know what the laws say. I started drinking at 17,
I
bro.
think if your dad
17,
buys,
18.
I think if your dad buys you an alcohol, you're allowed to drink it. You're just not allowed to like go obtain it from back
A
channels.
single alcohol.
One single alcohol, yes, exactly 1 unit of alcohol.
Anyway, so like I don't want to make this all about politics, but this is just part of the story.
Okay,
So I have an uncle who is extremely liberal and a grandpa who is extremely conservative.
let's go.
So when the drinks start coming and like the drinks start flowing and everything and everybody's feeling good, my father, who is exactly halfway, will say some controversial shit to one or the other and get those two to argue, and everybody thinks it's hilarious, and then things start getting out of hand and people start like legitimately arguing and getting mad at each other, and then it gets really really hectic because that's like the go-to for my family is to get my grandfather riled up over politics.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
This man is 94 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's had a very long time to consolidate his views
God,
and
that's
be like,
old.
this is exactly what I stand for the rest of my life. But it's really interesting. It's a lot of fun.
I think I've ever known a family
lot of
member.
making fun of, but it was actually a lot less quiet than it was last year. Last year it was just me, my parents, and my sisters. This year we had a little bit of extended family who are actually in town this year, so it was a lot of fun. So it was a good day. Just had
Sick.
some of the leftovers a couple hours ago. So
let me just that sentence I was starting before. It sounds pretty grim. The place you cut it off. I have in fact met a family member. I have not, however, met a family member that is 94 or older. That's the oldest. That's pretty old. I think the oldest family member I have is my grandmother's husband, and he's like in his mid to late 80s.
he is the oldest family member as of right now. A few years back, I want to say 2018, 2019? No. I don't know, 2019, 2020, around there. My great grandmother passed away, and I believe she had either almost made it to 101 or just barely didn't make it, but she was basically 101 at the time.
Damn, that's high.
And it wasn't even anything like serious or anything like that. It was just old age. Like she just passed in her sleep one day.
Passed peacefully in her sleep. Yeah.
It was very crazy news, but
Okay, this is really depressing, but now I'm thinking about it, so I want to tell the story. Get ready for the depressed cast, y'all.
You want to? If you want depressing, hold on. I got
you're just gonna do your story first, even
no, because it has to do with it has to do with what I literally just talked about. My great grandmother.
Okay, go ahead.
Real quick, the one thing that's gonna stay in my mind for the rest of my life is, we were at like a family she was at a family wedding with us. I don't remember who was getting married, but she turns to me and goes, I can't wait to see you get married. And I'm just like, to this day, it has been like 6 years since that, and I have never forgotten it. And it is going to stick with me until I die, knowing that she's not going to be able to go. And it's stuck with me. And it's like, it's not even like, it's sad, but it bothers me more than it upsets me.
Yeah.
It's like that. Come closer, come closer. I need to tell you a secret. Dies, and you just never will know. But yeah,
The fucking
have you never heard of a scenario like that?
No. Have you seen the meme where it's just like it's like a chocolate? I think it's like a chocolate gorilla or something, and he says like, "I know who did 9/11" or something. It was, and then he fucking melts and dies.
It's the exact same. It's the exact same vibes, just a little bit sad, but
But so my story about losing grandparents is I was basically a lot of what I had in my early life was provided by my grandmother and grandfather. Even though I lived with my mother, they provided a lot of like my clothes and stuff, and also I stayed there a lot. So I was pretty close to my grandparents, and my grandfather was like the healthiest old man you would ever know. And it's really the spoilers. The man gets cancer. That's where the story goes. The cancer fucking comes at you fast. Like you could be the healthiest man on the planet Earth. That man would have lived to be 120 if he didn't get cancer. He was the fucking pinnacle of health. And then just like one day, I was like 11 or 12, and he got leukemia, and it fucked him up real bad. And in the last weeks of his life, he like couldn't talk. Like they drugged him up or whatever. Um, and I remember I went there the day before he died. I went there, and like me and my mother and my father, who my father is not a man. I've lost a lot of respect for the man as I've pontificated on the decisions that he's made. He lives with his sister in Massachusetts. After living in a guy's basement for like 10 years, he moved in with his sister. I have not seen him in 7 years. He's made no effort to see me. He abandoned an entire other family before me. So I love the man. He's my father. I will never not love him. He's made some bad decisions and is maybe not a man to be respected. However, the one thing I always will respect him for is that this is like the last time he stepped foot in Florida, where I live currently. He did fly down because they knew my grandfather was going to die. So he wanted to be there for when that happened to me. So that was very good of him. So me and my mother and my father went to the house. I like held his hand and he squeezed it because he could still move his hands. He just couldn't talk. And then that happened, and I was a fucking dumb child, so I was like, he's gonna come out of this. Like, I had no fucking doubt in my mind.
oh,
Zero doubt. I was like,
oh
he's gonna be
boy.
fine. He's gonna be fine. He'll recover. It's possible. It can happen. So I'm like kind of sad, but like I try not to let it bother me because I'm fully confident he's gonna recover. So I go to school the next day. I remember having a really fucking good day at school. I don't remember why, but I just remember being in a real good mood. And then I like literally skipped home from the bus stop, and I opened the front door. My mother and my father are sitting directly in front of the front door, waiting for me to walk in. And they didn't even have to say it. I knew that they were sitting right in front of the front door. I fucking put the pieces together. And then yeah, he died. And I was real sad. It was real rough. And that was really the first significant loss I went through. I had like an uncle die before that, and I was kind of sad about it. But like, first of all, I didn't see him fucking deteriorate like I did my grandfather. And second of all, it just didn't hit as hard because I was younger and I didn't know the guy as much as I knew my grandfather. So this was like my first big loss. So
My first big loss was not as big as that. It's on a different level. It was big. It was significant. My first big loss was my childhood puppy, who lived to be almost 12 years old.
old
So
boy.
I've had him since I was like 8. I lost him when I was like 9. No. I had him when I was way younger than that. I don't know. I lost him when I was in college. I didn't get to say goodbye. My last goodbye wasn't supposed to be a last goodbye, but
Yeah.
because I was off at college and I didn't have a way to get home, and I get this call at 11 o'clock at night because I was working. I was doing like night shift lifeguarding at the rec center there at the university, and I get this call, and my dad and I, or my parents and I, have an agreement. If I'm at work and they know I'm at work, they don't call me. They don't bother me. So when I got a call, I answered it, and I went over to my manager. I said, "My dad's calling. This is important." I left. So I go outside, and he tells me the news, and I go back in, tears in my eyes, and I finish, and I go and work 4 more hours.
Oh man, that's rough.
That was my first significant loss, and it, to this day, like, I can talk about it now, but like a few years back, like, I could not talk about it at all. Anytime I mentioned it, I would just start tearing up. But
Man,
now
that
I have a
is
new
real
I have a
rough.
new little piece of shit. His name is Cooper. He is a boxer.
Oh,
I'm sure I've showed you. He just turned 5.
I've seen Cooper before, I think. Yeah.
He just turned 5. He's my little asshole.
I miss having a dog, and my mother will not have a dog, especially now. My chances of a dog just got like fucked. They were already low, but now it's just like not happening because we dog sitted a dog for 3 weeks, and the dog fucking annihilated our household. So,
oh boy,
I don't think we're getting a dog anytime soon. She was a sweet little husky puppy named Princess, and she was very
oh
sweet.
god, your first puppy was a husky puppy?
No, this was the dog we were dog sitting.
Yeah, I know. That was
recently.
your first experience with having a dog in the house?
No. We had a dog when I was a kid. I've had a dog before.
Okay.
I just haven't had one in years. And
I was gonna say, husky puppy is not a way to start off, buddy.
No, they're pretty tough. So there's this husky puppy named Princess. We were dog sitting her for a friend of my mother's. This is an agreement she made completely absent of discussing it with me. So I very much made it a point to be like, okay, I'll help you with this dog baseline, but like, I'm not picking up her poop. I'm not doing it. I will not. Because the first awful thing about this dog is it refused to go to the bathroom outside. Like, we would take it out there for like fucking 3 hours, and it would not go to the bathroom, and then it would immediately go to the bathroom in the house immediately upon walking back in.
Oh no.
So she just went to the bathroom of the house the whole time, and my mother had to clean it all up because I was like, I did not agree to having this dog here. I tried it once. I tried to pick up the poop once, and I was nauseous for the rest of the day. So I was like, yeah, not doing that again.
It's what's the term? It's an acquired skill.
Yeah.
Me being 24 years old, I've had a dog every year of my life, minus like 2 or 3, which were the in-between years, which are always like, you just lost one and you need time before you go and pick up another one.
Yeah.
So it was like a year and a half in between both.
Okay.
But I've had dogs all the time my whole life growing up, and it still makes me nauseous. It's disgusting. I hate it. But I'll do it if I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, Princess, first of all, goes to the bathroom in the house literally all the time. She peed outside once, never pooped outside the whole like 3 weeks we had her. So that was one thing. And the other thing is she has fucking separation anxiety. So whenever we left the house, she would fucking destroy something.
oh no. Oh no. My puppy Cooper's just getting over that. We can leave him for about 4 or 5 hours. Any longer than that and he will tear shit up.
So Princess she fucked up all our doors. Like she like ruined the paint on the front door. She like fucked with the wood on the back door. She made a hole in my bedroom door. She made a big ol' fucking hole in my mother's bedroom door. And yeah, she did some damage, that dog. But there's just something about it, Colo. I've always said that like the cure to depression is dogs. Like, even seeing a dog in person just like immediately improves my mood that moment. Just like a fucking snap of the fingers. I'm like significantly happier because they're
I fully agree with that. I could be having the absolute worst piece of shit day when I'm out delivering at work. I come across a house with the one dog who loves me. My the rest of my day is shot. I love it. Like
Yeah, no,
the rest of
so
the day is like I saw the dude. I saw him. He's happy. He's
he
still doing
happy,
good.
happy boy, love him.
You
So
can't go to a dog and like life sucks. I hate it. You can't. You see
no,
him, he sees you, it sees you, the dog sees you, and he just looks right up at you and has zero care in the world. Doesn't matter. That dude is joyful as shit, and you can't be upset with puppies or
no, you
dogs in
cannot be a
general.
stone puppies. It's impossible. My
And
no,
everybody
well,
probably
my
thinks
mother
I'm
did it.
crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy on when I'm on route because whenever I'm delivering to like there's like 2 or 3 very specific houses that I know have the most lovable puppies or lovable dogs that just stay outside constantly. Every time I pull up to the house, I go, "Puppy, come here!"
Yes.
in this like high pitched shrieking voice, like I'm dying. And everybody probably thinks I'm like mentally insane, but it's literally just hype that dog up. There's this really old dog who lays on the front porch every day, and anytime I deliver it to him, I I pull off to the side of the road, I get out with the box, and I go, "Come here, buddy! Come here, buddy!" And you watch him. He looks up at me. His tail starts wagging. It takes him like a couple minutes to get up, but once he gets up, he's all jumpy and everything. And it's such a nice experience.
So wholesome. It's so great.
You can't be mad while petting a dog. You can't.
No, no. But like but yeah, that the dog fucking destroyed my house. It was she was a fucking awful. But she was sweet and I would get the door and I would get home from work and she would be like, "Oh, there I'm so happy. Hello." And her tail's wagging. She's jumping up on me. And it made my life a little better, I think. And now she's gone, and now I want a dog, and now I'm never getting one because she fucking destroyed our house. I had 2 other dogs, or no, 3 other dogs. How rude of me to forget about the first one. I've had 3 dogs throughout my life. The first dog was Scooby Doo because we got him when I was 3, and they let me name him, and I knew of a dog named Scooby Doo, and I was not very creative, so his name was Scooby Doo. He was a bulldog. He was a good boy. But he was a sick boy, and we brought him to the vet, and then I was told that the people at the vet were keeping him. I imagined that was just a copium for him being put down, and they didn't want to tell me because I was like 4. Uh,
Oh yeah.
so I've never asked my mother to confirm that. I almost don't want to know. So
No,
I
it's best not to ask. It's one of those things where you keep that childhood wonder of like you hope he's doing all right, you know? You'll
yeah.
never see him again, but you hope he's doing okay.
Well, the bulldogs live for like 8 years on average, so that dog is long dead, even if it lived a long, happy life.
But you hope he did live a long, happy life, though. That's the thing.
Yes, of course. But
But
yeah, that was Scooby Doo. And then there was my like main childhood dog. This is the one I had the longest. Was a Jack Russell mix. We don't know what else she was. Somebody just like dropped her on our doorstep as a puppy, and her name was Dixie. And I got her when I was like 8. And then when I was 15, we were in dire financial straits, and also my mother's boyfriend at the time was not very nice to Dixie, so we gave her away, and that
oh,
was rough. I had her from when I was 8 to when I was 15. So yeah, that dog was a long-standing staple in my life, and now she's not, and she's still alive. And I know the people who have her, but nobody will fucking take me to visit this dog, and it makes me mad. I just
yeah,
want to
I've
see.
had
I want to see my baby girl one last time. She's an old lady, so she probably doesn't have that long left.
how far away is she?
Not too far, I suppose. Like if I could get in contact with her owner and I could just Uber there myself. But like,
I'm sure you could. I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah, I mean, I just need to be more resourceful. It's just like for the longest time, like this was my mother's boyfriend's sister. So like for the longest time, he was around and he never took me there, and my mother never took me there.
Okay.
His brother lived with us for a while and he never took me there. It's like Jesus Christ, somebody take me to my dog. Yeah, I had Dixie for a while, and then while we had Dixie, there was a brief like 6 month period where we had this big old dog. I don't know what kind of dog he was. I just know he was a big boy. And his name was Dutch, and we were supposed to be dog sitting him for like a week, and then we had him for like 6 months. uh,
Jesus.
and because we had some neighbors who just like had 1,000 dogs and just like rescued dogs all the time. So we had this dog. We were taking care of it for them. They like pinned it on us for like 6 months. My mother did not like this dog. I fucking loved this dog. He was just a big doofy dumb boy. I loved him. He was my best friend. He was so affectionate and sweet. He didn't know his own power, so like sometimes he hurt me a little bit, but I was okay with it because he was a big cute dumb boy. Uh,
Yeah.
and eventually my mother got fed up with having this dog, so she tells my neighbors like we gotta take this dog, but we're getting no more dog. And apparently they've like worked out this deal with these people who are moving in next door, but they're not there yet, or they've not like settled into the home yet. So what they did was they tied the dog up in the backyard of the next door house, and they like were bringing it food and water and shit. But that dog could not be tied down, and, and he would constantly break out, jump the fence, and come back to our house because he loved us, because we
Yeah.
took care of him for 6 months, and then every once in a while, I would open my back door and he would run. His name was Dutch. I'd be like, "Oh, hey, Dutch, what's up?" One time, I was taking my mother's friend, like, was a caregiver for some girl with mermaid disorder, like where your legs get all fucked up.
Yeah.
And they left me alone with this mermaid woman to just like make sure she was all right. And Dutch, being a big doofy dummy who doesn't know his own strength, I open the back door, he runs in, he's escaped once more, and he just fucking jumps on this woman. And
Oh,
I'm like,
jeez.
Dutch, no! Get down! But he was a real good boy, and I hope that he eventually was given to somebody who loved and cared about him for his big long life.
So I've had three dogs in my time here. Uh, so the stereotypical white person thing to do is to get a puppy before you start having kids, right?
Yeah.
It's the stereotypical white nuclear family
Make sure you can
type
keep something
type of deal.
alive.
But so that first dog, his name was Zeke. He was a golden retriever. He was the best dog, best well behaved, best everything from what I can remember. And he lived through, I forget how old he was, but I have very like poor memory of him just because he was that first dog and they had him for a while before my parents had kids. Um he passed away when I was in kindergarten. I remember going off, it was either kindergarten or first grade. I remember waking up for school, coming down, him laying there, and my mom tells me to tell him goodbye. And I thought it was weird. I was like, well, I'm gonna see him when I get home. Why do I need to say goodbye? And she goes, just do it. And she's all emotional. So I go, bye, buddy. I'll see you later. And I go off to school, and I never saw that dog again. And to this
Oh,
day, that is my last memory of that dog. And I'm mad that that's like a memory I have, but it's like a core memory. Like
oh,
I remember getting home and my mom is in tears, and like I'm I'm a child. I didn't have homework to do at the time. And if I did, I wasn't doing it. Doesn't matter. Um
yep.
so I get home and she's all upset, and I don't know what I did, but I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I don't know. It wasn't big. It was probably something small. But she was going through some stuff at the time because she just lost her first family dog. But my memory of that day is coming home from school and asking her, "Hey, do you know where my Game Boy is?" And she goes, "You didn't say bye to Zeke. You don't get it today." And I don't understand. I go, "Well, where is he?" And she goes upstairs, and I don't see my mom for the rest of the day. So I'm stuck
But
to
you did
sit
say goodbye to Zeke.
but it wasn't like heartfelt. It was just bye, buddy. I'll see you later. It wasn't like
You had no context as to this being the last goodbye. She didn't tell you that.
that
What the
exactly.
fuck?
But I remember that vividly. So a couple years, like a year or two, go by, and we get another puppy. This is a yellow lab, and his name is Riely.
Hold on, Colo, I have a question.
Yeah.
Was there ever, I imagine at some point, an explanation was given to you. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't. I don't remember any explanation or anything.
Did he go off to the farm
No,
to
I
go
don't think I
frolic and
got. I don't
play?
look. I don't remember. I just remember coming home from a good day at school. My dog is gone, and my video games were taken away from me, and I was pissed.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Where's my dog? Where's my Game Boy? Where are
I
all
don't
my fun
remember
things?
anything other than just a half goodbye and coming home and no video games for the rest of the day.
Sort of. Hold on. Let me real quick before you tell your story about the next dog. Let me tell the story of the day that they took Dixie, because I totally got fucking tricked, and I eventually I would have had to give up the dog anyway, but I definitely should not have fallen for the trick that they attempted. So I knew they were coming. I had heard on the grapevine that my dog was being taken, so I locked myself in my room with my dog. Like I was like, you motherfuckers aren't taking my dog. Fuck you. It's not happening. She's my dog. You can't have her. And I'm locked in the room. They're like negotiating with terrorists, trying to get me to open the door so that they can take the dog to what is actually a much better place for her. And I'm glad they did take her, because now she's got a big backyard. She's got doggy friends. The much better place for her, really. But I didn't want to give up my girl. I didn't want to give up my girl. So I'm locked in the room with the dog, and they like lied to me and said that they were just like taking her to like treat her fleas and shit and like clean her up, and that they were gonna bring her back. And I fucking fell for it like a dummy. And I opened the door, and they took my dog. I never saw my dog again.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I never got any like bullshit excuse. It was always just either they just brushed past it, like, all right, say goodbye, or yeah, that was the first real like experience with death that I ever had. Like I said, it didn't phase me. I didn't realize it until like a few years. Like I don't actually like. I wasn't super attached to the dog because I was young, but
Yeah.
the next dog was Riely. I get him probably in
Hey.
second grade. It was not spelled your way. It was Riley, like a normal person.
Hey.
I've given you this lecture already. But anyway, this dude was fun, and it was the first puppy of the family with 3 kids, and it was great. And this dude got along with everybody. He didn't know his own strength. I want to say I was like 7 when we got him. So was that 12 years? I am 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time frame. So yeah, we had him for 12 years. I am 19 years old. I am off at college. I have so many good memories of this little boy. And I get the call, and I already told this story of how I lost him, but
Yeah.
it was heartbreaking. I wasn't able to function for days. And it was probably one of the hardest things to ever have to deal with. Because
Yeah, I
up until
getcha.
then, I've never lost anybody important. Like nobody in the family was like that I was like close to. was going to die anytime soon, and that was the first experience with it, and it was really, really tough. So, and then a couple of years pass. I believe it's 2018 now. 5 years
Yeah.
ago, 2017.
Okay. Yeah, 5 years ago, that would be 2017.
Yeah,
God,
2017.
2017 was 5 years
I
ago.
can
God damn it.
I can actually get you the exact date we brought him home. Hold on. Where's my puppy picture?
Puppy
20. We
picture.
brought him home November 21st, 2018. So he just turned 4.
What a good
So
boy.
he just turned 4. His name is Cooper. He is a boxer. I love him. He's kind of a dick. Um he will get along with every single human being he ever meets. Every single one. You put him in front of a male dog, no matter what species, and he is growling. The hair on the back of his neck stands up. He's an asshole to any other animal other than him.
The Angie boy. He don't like him.
He is extremely territorial. But he is like the most lovable dog. I love him. And he's only 4, so we have him for a while. And it's really, really nice for my parents because my parents just sent their youngest child off to college. So it's just them and the dog. And I think that
Oh,
dog is like 100% keeping him mentally sane
yep.
because this is the first time them as parents have been alone together. They've spent the past 24 years raising kids.
Raising babs, raising babies.
Um, they've basically spent the past 24, 25 years raising kids. And now for the first time they're all alone and they have a little asshole to take care of.
Good. Yeah.
I love him. He's so fun. I've sent you pictures of him, right?
Probably like way back. Yes, I've definitely seen your dog.
Anyway, so because it was his birthday a couple days ago. Let me try and find the puppy picture from when we brought him home. Here we go. This is day 1 at the Colo Chew house back in 2018.
I love him.
Look at his little butt wrinkles.
His little butt wrinkles. He's got little butt flap wrinkles.
He's adorable, and I love him. And he's like 4 times the size of what he is in that picture, and he doesn't know his own strength.
Big man. He big man
Like,
now.
he's never hurt a human being. He will hurt dogs. He does not like other dogs for some reason. But anybody who comes in the house, he is all over them, and he is lovable, and he's so energetic. I love him so much.
Dude, since my Dixie left me, I've been searching for any dogs to fill the void. Not dogs that I can own because I'm not allowed to have a dog, but like my friends' dogs, like my friend Noah, who moved away a couple years ago. He had a puppy named JC, and that dog was adorable. She was the best. Loved that dog. And I used to tell him straight up, like, I'm like, listen, you come to my house, we're hanging out, we're friends. It's for us. I come to your house, I'm there for your dog.
100% true.
Yeah, like JC loved me. Whenever I walked in the house, she would always start like running around, like she'd get the zooms, and I was like, oh,
All
I
the
love
zoomies.
zoomies. Yeah, she was a good girl, that JC. And then my friend Silas has a dog named Fifi. She's a sweetheart. She's a sweet baby, and I love her. And I pet her all the time when I'm there. And she does this really cute thing where if you're sitting next to her and you're not petting her, she'll like start trying to push her hand up with her snoot so that you'll pet her. It's great. It's adorable. And then so I'm trying to think of other notable dogs in my life. Dogs of note. Well, I guess as I said, my neighbors who we took care of Dutch for way back in the day. They were they had like a million dogs. So I had whenever I went over there, I would see a couple of dogs. A lot of them were like fucking vicious pit bulls. So they were like locked up or they were in the living room and I had to be locked up. Whenever I went to their house, I just had to be like locked in my friend's room the whole time because they just have a bunch of fucking crazy dogs that will kill anyone who isn't them. And they probably won't actually. They're probably exaggerating a little bit, but just to avoid potential issues. I was always restricted access in that house. But one of their dogs in particular, it's the first dog they ever had. When they first came, they only had two dogs. One of them was like their their mother's dog because they had like were taking care of their old mother who lived there. She must be dead by now. I never heard about it happening, but I haven't seen her in a while, so I assume she died at some point. Uh but she had a dog named Scooter, and he was a Shih Tzu, and he was cool. But the other dog they had was this nice Snow White pit bull named Kilo, and for a while I never interacted because I was always told like their pit bulls were vicious. But Kilo's a good boy. He's a good boy. whenever I went over there, eventually I realized the Kilo was friendly. He was a friendly. And Kilo was always a nice, good boy. I remember one time, this is like the cutest thing ever, and it like made me feel bad because this dog has been through hell because they have a bunch of other pit bulls there, and once there was a pit bull conflict that ended with this dog's like rib cage hanging out.
Oh Jesus!
And there was surgery. He was fixed. He was fine, but it's real rough. And he was a sweet old man by that point. Like, and there was one night that I stayed at their house, and my friend slept on the couch so that I could sleep in the bed because I was restricted to that room because of the dogs. And Kilo would just occasionally walk in and just like wake me up by kissing me. I'd pet him for a little bit, then I'd go back to sleep. And he'd come back, and we went through that cycle for a couple times during the night. It was really sweet. I was like, I want to take this dog. I don't want him to have to live amongst the beasts. He's such a sweet old man.
That's adorable.
Do you have any non-dog pets of note? Or
My mom
have
is
had?
allergic to cats. So we've only had 3 pets, the 3 dogs.
Okay.
Currently in the house that I'm living at,
Well,
my
I
roommate.
I know there's cats there. I know
Oh,
Val.
there's more. There's more.
Oh, there's more. There's more than the Val cats. Okay.
Yeah, there's the Val cats and the Val bunnies.
Oh, Val
Um,
buddies.
we have one bunny named Twitch, another bunny named fuck Gruffles, maybe? I don't fucking know. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know the new
How
bunny's
dare you
name.
forget that buddy's name?
He's like a couple weeks in the house, so I don't remember.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The OG bear, the black cat, and the relatively newest cat, he's been here for a minute, is Nico, the tabby cat. So we got 4 animals here. It's a little zoo.
We'll zoo. We'll zoo.
But yeah,
I've had a few cats. My first pet ever was a cat. Because my mother got a cat. She got a kitten when she was pregnant with me. So I grew up with a cat. His name was Minu. And he hated anybody that was not my mother or my father, especially me.
oh man,
Yeah.
that's
It was
rough.
like he would never like attack me too hard. Like I think he was a smart cat. He had an understanding of the fact that I was not to be hurt because I was also a baby of his mother. But he would definitely like give me get the fuck away from me scratches whenever I messed with him.
The cats and the bunnies at this house just run away. That's it.
Nah, Mina would just like, cause I was a dumb kid, so I would like try to
Oh,
grab the
that's
cat
fair.
and
Yeah.
shit, and he just like scratch me in the arm, and be like, "Get the fuck away from me!" But that was Minu. He was cute. He was a white cat. He was a good boy. And then he lived a long, happy life, and then he ran away. Because cats run away to die. So he like disappeared one day when he was old, and we never saw him again. And well, he disappeared a couple times. It was like this periodic, like the last like year or two of his life, he would just like run away for a while, and they would come back for a while, and they would leave again, because I guess he just like wasn't a fan of the other pets that ended up in the house. Like he wasn't a fan of Scooby Doo, but like he didn't run away over Scooby Doo because he was still young. Um, and then he ran away once, just like apropos of nothing. And we got another kitten during that period. His name was Smokey. He was a black cat. He's the only cat I've ever owned that did not physically assault me if I tried to show it affection. And he like died of heat stroke or something. It was awful.
Oh, jeez.
He like what happened was we don't know what happened. All we know is that he somehow got out of our house, and my grandparents found him dead on our porch.
Oh no.
It's rough. It's real rough. So he probably like either somebody got ran over, either he got ran over by somebody we knew and they like brought him back, or he died of heat stroke because he was stranded outside because he escaped. So that was the tragic end of Smokey the kitten. He must have been no less than like or no more than like a year old. So that's really tragic.
Oh, poor baby.
Poor baby. It really sucks. And it was the only cat I ever owned that liked me. So that was also unfortunate.
Very.
And then Minu came back at some point though. So like we had a cat again. My mother was happy. And then he ran away again. And during that time that he ran away is when we got Dixie. We got our dog. And she came back, or he came back. He saw a big doofy puppy in his house, and he was like, "Nope, I'm out of here." And he came back for like a week, and then he left again, and he never returned. So that was Minu. And then we got a white cat named Cloud, who was also given to us by the fucking zoo neighbors because they also saved dogs and any other, or they also saved cats and any other animal they could get their hands on. So they gave us a cat, and we wanted a cat because mom missed Minu, and this was a white cat just like Minu. So we had this white cat. I named him Cloud. And he was a good boy, except he wasn't because we hated each other. we had a mutual rivalry. Because that cat hated me. I think he just hated people in general. I don't remember him liking my mom too much either. He just like was not a fan of people. He was not aggressive. He just like didn't want to be with you.
That's kind of how our cat Nico is. Like the only time he will ever actively like want cuddles from a human being is when he's hungry. Most of the time, he will bother you to go outside and he will fuck off for like 12 hours and he will not come back and you cannot find him. But he knows when he's hungry to come back to this house because nobody else will feed him.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Cloud just kind of existed in my house for a while, and he did not like me. And the moment it became a mutual dislike was he was just like exploring my room. And I had just gotten an Xbox 360 from my father for Christmas, which is like the only present for Christmas and or birthday that he's ever sent me since he moved away from the state. He sent me an Xbox 360 and a couple of games. And I had my Bakugan Battle Brawlers for the Xbox 360, which for context, the DS version of that game was like one of my top childhood games. And it is just the same game, like in terms of plot, which I really liked the plot and I liked the gameplay. It just had like sick graphics because it was on the Xbox 360 instead of the fucking Nintendo DS. So I was super happy to have this game on Xbox 360. And then my cat knocked over the Xbox 360, and because of how the discs are read, the like laser process, that scratches them if you knock down your Xbox. So that game broke, and from then on, me and that cat had a mutual rivalry and distaste for each other. And eventually, he used to like escape and like bum around outside. And then one day he got swatted. The SWAT team pulled up to a house around the corner to do a drug raid, and they ran over our cat.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, my cat got swatted. And although we were not the friendliest of pet and human relationships, I still obviously felt real bad that he had such an abrupt end as to be fucking trampled by the SWAT team. Uh, So that was unfortunate for Cloud. And then a few years ago, I walked out 3 years ago during my Thanksgiving break. So it's been 3 years now. Probably officially a day or two ago was our 3 year anniversary of having this cat. I just walked outside and suddenly there was a cat rubbing up on my legs. I was like, "Oh hey buddy." I let him in. I gave him some milk. I was like, "All right, we're gonna run a campaign here to keep this cat." And my mother's boyfriend came home. He was on board. I was like, "All right, I've got the numbers advantage. We're gonna keep this cat." And eventually, it just kind of became like she agreed that this is now the cat that we feed, but there's no litter box, and he mostly lives outside. So he's just like a stray cat who comes here to eat. His name is Steve. We let him in sometimes. He used to be affectionate when he was a kitten, but now he just will bite you. He's a mean guy. But he's my son, none the same. He's my precious boy. I brought him in from the streets 3 years ago, and now he just comes to my house and eats food and bites me if I try to pet him.
Understandable.
So Steve is my precious son, and he hates me, but I love him. And I've had him for 3 years now, officially. That's pretty cool. Because there's been some scares. The cat has disappeared for long periods of time, and he is a stray cat, and stray cats have tendencies to be hit by cars. So there have been some scares when Steve just went on a fucking sabbatical for like 3 weeks, and we're like, well, our cat's probably dead, and then he just like shows up, and he's like, oh okay, he's not dead. Hey buddy. And now that cat is a fucking monster. He like he murders for fun. Like there was like 2 years ago, there was like a body count of rats building up in our backyard because of that cat. There was also a time he killed a snake and draped it around a pole, which is metal as fuck.
Oh my god.
A fucking warrior.
It's amazing. I love
So
it.
it's my headcanon now that whenever he like disappears for weeks at a time, he's like taking part in like a big climactic anime battle.
That's great.
He does come home with new injuries a bunch too. Like he'll be bleeding somewhere, he'll have like a cut somewhere. He's a fighty boy. He goes out and he fucking fights.
Understandable. We have no idea what Nico does when we let him outside the house. We have no idea. He's come from our bet. Whenever we call him for dinner, if he's not actively at the back door meowing like a fucking moron, like someone who just got shot, he will. We've seen him come from across the street, behind the house. We've seen him come from every direction around our house, so we have absolutely no idea what this dude does, but we know he always comes back. We've had a couple scares where we're just like walking down the street yelling Nico, and he pops out of fucking the bushes of someone's house, and he's like, "Hey, there you guys are! I was looking for you."
What's up?
There was one time we were looking for him, and we were yelling for him, and we see him, and he goes over to the other house, and we're like, "Nico!" And he looks at us, he looks at the house, and he comes running over. We're like, "Yeah, you live over here. That's the wrong house, dude." But
yeah, not the right house. But there was this one time that I think the scariest Steve experience we've ever had, like the most he's ever been injured, and like we were afraid he was going to die. It was weird. One time I just like it was nighttime, and I walked to the Chinese buffet to eat dinner. And then as I was walking home, I was on the phone with a bunch of my friends. There was a short-lived YouTube project. I think it might be coming back soon, and if so, I'll probably be a part of it. But there was a short-lived YouTube project that I was a part of, which was a collaborative Power Rangers and general Tokusatsu YouTube channel with my fucking nerd ass Power Rangers roleplay friends, which is an embarrassing part of my life I don't like to talk about. But my friend Jack never shuts his fucking mouth about it when he's on streams with me, so I can't keep it a secret. People know. So yeah, I do Power Rangers roleplay. Call me gay in the comments that don't exist because we don't put this on YouTube. And I was in a group call with all those people, and they were gonna record an intro video for the channel. And I was like, shit, hold on, I can get home in like 15 minutes, hold on. And I'm like on the phone with them, and I'm like rushing home. And then suddenly I see Steve, and he's being like coy, like he's not coming towards me, he's like kind of backing away. So I'm like, what is up with Steve? So I walk over to him, I catch him, because he's backing away from me, but he's not backing away fast. So like I can get up to him. And I like went to pet him, and I touched him, and he was wet. And I looked at my hands, and it was blood that it was wet with. So I was like, oh shit, Steve is bleeding. So I put my phone in my pocket, and I go to pick him up, and I get like blood all over me when I pick him up. And I take him in the house, and I like tell my mother and her boyfriend, like, hey, Steve has a grave wound. He's like bleeding everywhere. And like we tried to help him. We cleaned the wound. I think my mother's boyfriend did some like hydrogen peroxide to like disinfect it, which resulted in the most piercing cat shriek I've ever heard in my life. But he came out of it, and he's still walking around to this day, like a year later. So it was scary though. I just like knelt down to pet my cat, and suddenly my hand was covered in blood. It was pretty fucked. He's just out fucking fighting. He's in over his head. I've seen him fight other cats. I don't think I've ever seen him win a fight with another cat. I think he's just bad at fighting, but he does it anyway. Also, I had a brief fling with a cat that he fought all the time. Like, he would show up at my front door, and I would pet him. But then he, like, bit me once, and I was like, alright, I wasn't too invested in you anyway. I'm not gonna try to pet you again. But then there's a solid 2 weeks where I was fucking cheating on Steve with one of his battle opponents.
See, it's crazy. It's crazy that you have a cat named Steve, because Cooper's name is also Steve. I'm not making this up. My younger sister, who's off at college, not the youngest one, the middle one. Whenever she comes home, she calls him Steve, and he gets really confused whenever she gets home because everybody calls him Cooper, and then she comes home because it's basically her dog, because she basically raised him. She raised him, she trained him, she just didn't like actively like feed him or take care of him. She basically was like around him 24/7 though. So
Yeah. Like the way a kid
but
takes care of a dog, like obviously the parents are like buying the food and the supplies, but
yeah,
you're
but
like
she
training
was
him
like,
and taking care of him. Yeah.
yeah. So he's like super fucking attached to her, and she calls him Steve. And every time she comes home, she's like, "What's up, Steve?" I'm like, "Why do you call him Steve?" She's like, "That's his name." And I'm like, "You're gonna confuse him. Stop."
Stop confusing my boy. Yeah, my cat is named Steve. That was a suggestion of my mother's ex-boyfriend's. And it just kind of stuck. You
It's
were
a good
trying
name.
to I was gonna, when we first got him, I thought it was a girl. And I was gonna name her Mage. That was my name. And that stuck for like 2 days, and then we realized that Mage was boy cat, and we tried to think of boy names. And the ex-boyfriend came up with Steve, and it was funny, so that's what stuck.
So Steve's still around, right?
Yeah, he comes around and he eats, and then he bites me if I try to pet him. It's great. It's a great relationship we have.
Is Steve? Do you have any other cats that have been coming around, or is it just Steve?
It's just Steve, as far as I
Okay.
know.
Because you'll actively talk about, "Oh, Steve's outside," or whatever other name is said. I don't remember. I don't keep track.
I mean, I call him Steven sometimes.
Okay, so it is
It,
the
it,
okay.
his full legal name is Stephen Bartholomew. My last name that I'm not gonna say out loud.
The gamer.
Yes, the gamer. Stephen Bartholomew, the gamer.
Oh no! I'm sorry. It's Pegasus
Exclamation
middle
point.
name. Pegasus middle name the last name gamer. So it's
Yeah, it's
Steve
the
the
Stephen
gamer.
Bartholomew gamer.
Exclamation point.
That's my canonical last name now is exclamation point. My first name is Riely. My last name is exclamation point. So he's Stephen
Canonically,
Bartholomew exclamation
no.
point.
Canonically, your birth name was Pegasus
Pegasus
the
the
Gamer.
gamer.
Wait,
Okay.
wasn't it something before that though?
There was when I
Did
never
you
like
have a screen
had
name
anything. I never
before?
like I did have another name. It was GameSpy 2020, but I never like did
Game
anything
Spy.
under that
Yes.
name.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that was your birth name, and you used that, and you were just like, nope, it's Pegasus the Gamer now.
So I guess my canonical last name is 2020. Is it's first name Game, middle name Spy, last name 2020.
But no, I still think it's funny that anytime Penguin and I are talking about you, either here or trying to get your attention with you,
Peg. It's always Peg.
it's always Peg, because it's just she. I'm like, I used to try and correct her when you first started being Riely. I was like, it's Riely, not Peg, and she's like,
He
Peg,
Peg. He Peg.
he Peg.
And
But
I mean, it's like I'm fine with having that as a nickname for like people who have known me long enough. Like I'm
I
not,
mean, it's
I
the
don't get
same thing
offended
as me.
when you
It's the
and
same
Penguin
thing
call
with
me
me
Peg.
though.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with me. People will call me Colo Chew. I'll get Kiwo from Penguin. I'll also get Kiwi from Penguin. It's a lot of Penguin.
A lot of Penguin nicknames.
But like the two main ones that you'll see in like these Discord servers are Colo Chew, mainly just Colo Chew and Kiwo Chew. It's the exact same. If it ends in Chew, it's me.
Yeah.
We won't allow any other Chews. Their nicknames will be changed by a name. I'm sorry.
No more chews. No chews allowed. But yeah, Penguin calls me Peg. Usually, you call me Peg sometimes. Penguin calls me Peggy sometimes.
Ooh. but but I actually have not had like a legitimate name change since like 2018. I think the only name change was like, I think at the very beginning, anything online was like Colo 54, and then it just evolved into Colo Chew once I started like doing podcasts and stuff. But I remember Colo 54 being the first game, my very first gamer tag ever. But it slowly
Man,
evolved. It very quickly evolved into the screen name of Kolochu. So, and that has stuck with me for 4 years now, and it
it's so
doesn't plan on going
surreal.
anywhere.
It's so surreal for me now that like I changed my name to just be my real name like 2 years ago. And during that time, I've met and started to work with a lot of the people that I work with today. Like I don't work with like Gingy. I guess I work more with you and Penguin now, but there was a time that the Pixels people I like barely worked with, and I just worked with like Demi Gloom and Mo Diggity, and they all met me as Riely. I work with Jason a lot, and I met him in real life, so obviously he knows me as Riely. So I've become so used to the name Riely now that if I go listen to an old podcast and I hear myself responding to the name Pegasus, it feels weird. Like I'm so distanced from it now that it's weird to think that I used to without hesitation respond to the name Pegasus.
I mean, that's understandable. Like I said, it's always
Different
been
era.
some sort of Colo for me. It's either Colo Chew or Colo for my whole time on the internet. So it's just been that.
Yeah. You're like you and Penguin are like the only people who still call me Peg. Like everybody else calls me Riely. I have not
It's
been
a mix
called.
between both. I call you Penguin, penguins around.
Yeah. You don't always
And
call
I'll
me Peg.
sometimes slip up when she's not around, but it's mainly
And
just when penguins around. I'll call you Peg.
yeah, you don't always call me Peg, and neither does she. She's called me my real name a time or two. She definitely does it a lot more than you do though, the Peg thing. But even Gingy now, like he picked up on it quick. So like I'll listen to old Pixels episodes and I'll hear him call me Pegasus and I'll hear me respond and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. My- I cannot even put myself in the frame of mind of having the name Pegasus. I have not been referred to by that full Christian name for a long time. I've had friends call me Peg. I've not responded to the name Pegasus in years, and it feels really weird to hear a podcast where I do. I've often considered just going back, though, like for the memes. For the memes, though, it
Yeah, but
would
if
be
you bring
funny.
Peg back, then Peg and Colo are gonna be like brought back up, and like
I mean, it's not like this show is called Riely and Colo board. It's called Detour Ahead. We could do Detour Ahead whether I'm Pegasus or Riley. It's irrelevant.
no, this is basically Peg and Colo are bored at this point. Any duo cast is literally just Peg and Colo, but with an intro. And
Yeah,
maybe
we
small talk at the beginning, but
did an
that's about
intro
it.
for
Like
Peg and Colo and board.
I don't remember, dude. Peg and Colo on board was 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago.
Fuck. Time, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was just like a standard, like, hey everybody, welcome to Peg and Colo Report. I'm Peg, this is Colo, and then we just did it.
but yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. I guess this would be either this week or next week. I feel like this is a good spot. Kolochu, will be on vacation, so this podcast will have a few backlogged episodes. We'll
You
record
making a
at
hard commitment to that on air. The conversation we had last night, you were like, maybe we'll backlog, or maybe I'll
okay.
just.
Well, I was going to get to that. I was going to
Okay.
say, we're going to try and do a Christmas episode that for around Christmas. If we don't get to it, it's not a big deal. I'm not too concerned with it. But I am going on vacation, and I will be gone the 17th through basically through Christmas. So I will either be gone for 2 episodes, and Riley will be we'll try and find someone for a week or two,
It'll probably just be Demi Gloom both times.
which is fine as long as we can keep this being a weekly podcast, because we've been really good about having this weekly.
I feel like Demi Gloom is the perfect like understudy host though, because she's part of the Detour Head family. She's the editor, so she could be your understudy also.
Oh yeah, no, I don't care who my understudy is. I mean, even if you go and bring it, I don't care as long as this podcast is weekly. I'm going on vacation, and if I am, this is basically just I won't be here for probably 2 episodes. If you don't hear a little break, that's because we backlogged episodes, so I can technically keep the weekly streak going.
I think like first priority, because I think you should be here for the Christmas episode, and we have a guest planned for said Christmas episode that I want to be there for that. So I hope
Wait,
that we at least
on
backlog that one.
record when?
I don't know when we're gonna record. I'm just saying I hope that we at least backlog that one at some point.
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah, dummy.
that's right. Yes.
So I
Look,
hope we can at least
I'm
backlog
trying
the
to
Christmas
backlog for
episode.
this podcast. I'm trying to backlog and prepare for this podcast and for my YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel is not. It's doing really well, actually. Very surprisingly, this return to YouTube, it was a very slow start, but like, I think the lowest video ever since Pokemon I Could Take in a Fight blew up. It's sitting at 141 views right now.
Pretty good.
The lowest one is Scriblio drawing regional variants 2 months ago with only 4 views, but it's like 36.98. There's 11 for Peeled Pokemon, but like ever since that video, it's 43, 35, 46, 50, 51, 47. And then I just upload. Well, this will come out on Wednesday for you guys, hopefully. We record Saturdays sometimes, mainly.
Sometimes.
But on Saturday, I released. Riley and I are guessing Pokemon cries, and we do absolutely fucking terribly.
Yeah, we did not do good in that video. We were not good.
But the first video that came out 2 weeks ago was Who's That Pokemon, where we guess the Pokemon back sprite silhouettes. But that one did pretty well. Sitting at 75 subs. I'm doing really well for coming back off a year break. I'm happy with where I'm at.
It's also really funny that like 85% of the videos you produce are with me. Because I remember one time, if you'll recall, there's a video, the only one of the only it used to be the only Let's Play I'd ever completed, but I think I've completed one or two more since then. I did a Leaf Green Nuzlocke, not on YouTube, but on BitChute during my BitChute arc. And in the episode of the Nuzlocke, I like very publicly was like, okay, I have a pitch that I'm gonna pitch to Colo Chew, and I'm gonna pitch it here also to like get my thoughts together. So like I did this whole fucking Nuzlocke episode where I discussed the hypothetical possibility of turning the BitChute into like the Riely and Colo BitChute and like making you my co-host and like trying to make videos consistently because I've always wanted to have like a good duo channel. That's always been one of my like a duo Let's Play channel has always been my dream, and I've done a couple of them and they're good. I would prefer to do a real life one someday. That's my real aspiration. And if I could just get a fucking bicycle, I could probably do it with Jason. But
For a second, I
uh,
thought you were gonna say me, and I'm like, bro, that's
yeah,
gonna take
I
a
can't
minute.
bike to Ohio. No.
I don't even want to fly up here. This place is garbage. I want to leave. That's why I'm going on vacation. I'm coming down there.
Fair enough.
Ohio man in Florida.
But yeah, on that episode of the Nuzlocke, I like described my plans. And then I pitched it to you, and you were like, "No, fuck you."
I'm pretty sure that was during the era of nah, I'm good era where I
I
just
think
didn't do anything.
it was there's either a Nuzlocke episode or an episode of Mario 64 DS, which I also played on BitChute, that is entitled "Colo Cruelly Rejected Me," in reference to that thing. But
But you see, I've actually had motivation for this for my YouTube channel specifically, which is why things have been coming out every week. I think I missed like 1 week since coming back actually.
I was just gonna say, I think it's funny that now I think the Riely and Colo channel does exist, and it's called Colo Shoe, because I'm in 90% of the videos.
Because I don't know how I don't like doing solo content. I never know what to talk about. In an unreleased video for Colo for my YouTube channel, we basically it's a lot of radio silence basically. That will come out for you guys this upcoming Saturday, next Saturday. But yeah, it's not a lot. It's not like terrible, but it's if I get too focused on something, I don't know what to talk about. I can't keep a conversation going while in like dead air, basically.
No, I've basically resigned myself to that being the case. I actually I say daily, but it has not been daily in a long time. I recently it got brought back for a 4-day streak, and then it got broken again. Riley's unedited Let's Play Hellscape, my quote unquote daily Let's Play channel, and that channel's original purpose was me trying to practice doing solo commentary on Let's Play videos because I've just never been able to do it. And like all the videos on my main channel where it's just me playing a video game are fucking garbage. Which is why my main channel is now Riely and Friends, because I embrace the fact that I'm gonna have friends in all of my videos. So I made that part of the
I've
brand.
basically just branded it as Colo Chew, but like if you go to my YouTube channel, it's got penguins, it's got 6 different icons along the side.
That's true. You
Along
did
with
rip off my banner completely shamelessly. I remember.
I did, and then I like changed it to where it's now my
Slightly
banner.
less shameless now.
But I have 6 different logos. It's my 2 roommates, Gage and Valor, Gooch Messin, Lone Wolf. I got Raging Gingy up there now. Jason, Riley, and Penguin. And those are like the 6 staples that usually show up on my videos. Or like there's like others, but they haven't been recent.
I think I know who's on my banner, but I need to confirm because I feel like I'm gonna mix something up. I'm pulling it up right now, and then I will tell the listeners who is in my banner.
But
Stalling.
like while you're stalling,
Yeah.
I do have a few. I think I want to say 3 episodes 4 episodes. I have 4 episodes of a solo Let's Play. And, like, I don't know why I just stopped just because it wasn't, like, I wasn't feeling it. But, I
Yeah,
was playing through Pokemon Flora Sky, and I did 4 episodes, and I kinda just stopped
that's true.
just
I
be
do remember you playing. Shit, I just choked on nothing.
nice. But, like, I just kinda stopped because I realized I'm like, "This is not going" by episode 4, I was like, "This isn't really going the way I really want it to." I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, see if I can do solo content, and, like, from there, it's basically just me playing games with a whole bunch of other people, and I work really, really well with other people on my YouTube channel. I can record things with other people, like, very, very fluently. If you listen to me, like, if you listen to any of these Detour Ahead episodes, or even if you go back to, like, the golden days of Pixels back in, like, 2019, where it's me, Riely, and Gingy, or me, Riely, Gingy, Penguin, the the uh the conversations are really, really fluid and everything works, and it's really, really good content, which is why I've kind of just abandoned solo content at this point.
You are like the perfect content partner. Like, not to suck your dick too hard, but like you really do. Conversations flow very well with you. You have a very good personality. I enjoy working with you so genuinely. I think you are probably you and Demi Gloom are like in contention for the number one spot of like people I work with.
But you
Which
see, but you see,
will piss Jason off if he hears this. But it's
but
like you
you
and Demi Gloom are in the
see,
contention.
there's
Yeah.
always a downside to being a great conversationalist,
What's the
and
downside?
the absent-mindedness of just randomly getting up and leaving the internet for months on end without a word to anybody.
Thankfully, you are now at a point where I'm confident that you won't do that, but maybe you'll betray my heart. I don't know.
but but yeah, no, I'm on a streak. I don't like breaking streaks. I really hate breaking streaks. I'm specifically like long-standing streaks, like my YouTube channel uploading every Saturday at probably anywhere between 8 and 10 p.m. But it's I don't know, something about it. It makes it like the YouTube channel is easy to uphold because I have a podcast to do each week around the same time. So I've basically scheduled it to where I have a podcast obligation on Saturday night. So I'm kind of have to show up. While I'm sitting here, I also have a YouTube channel that I can upload to. So as long as both of those are running at the same time, they will continue going. If that makes sense.
Yeah, as long as you can keep them both running. But if one of them fails,
But see, that's the thing. As long as one is running, the other one will run, and as long as that other one is they're basically tied together at this point.
yeah,
So
that's true.
so if I'm not feeling the podcast, I still have to upload the YouTube channel. There's not I don't see anytime soon anyway abandoning one but still trying to uphold the other.
Fair enough. I
If that makes
understand.
sense. It's
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
just like a yin yang situation here where Saturday night is dedicated to two separate things every single week. And if it's not, I try and make plans to do other things, but the like the one week where my friends wanted to go out drinking, so I was like, all right, we can do the podcast, but we got to start earlier. I prioritize the podcast over other things now.
yeah. That's fair.
So also because I like doing this, and because this I also like I'm gonna throw us under the bus here, Riley.
Yeah.
We started this episode. We had no topic. We had nothing. We just hit record and started talking, and we came up with
Well,
a
we
topic
did
on
have a
the fly.
topic, and then we didn't do that topic.
What topic?
Our
Pokemon?
topic was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then we just talked about
Death and
pets.
puppies.
Well, pets. I'm probably gonna call the episode pets. So that was most
No,
of our
no, no,
time.
no. Death and puppies sounds more interesting.
Okay, we'll name it Death and Puppies. Sure.
Or puppy?
Um,
No, death and puppies. You got to put the sad one first, and then you get happy because you see puppies.
but Colo, unless you're like in a rush to get out of here, I had another discussion I wanted to have with you.
Yeah, you good? Go ahead.
So this is somewhat relevant to me. I don't believe this had happened by the last time we did Detour Ahead. It happened like that night, but I think it happened later. But I'm gonna ask you for yours first, and I'll tell you my recent relevant one. What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Ooh,
Just like ever.
ever?
Yeah, what's like the one celebrity death you could think of that like it fucked you up?
I don't think any, to be honest.
Really?
Um, yeah,
You
I
weren't a
don't
big Full House man? Bob Saget didn't hit you hard?
know. I can tell you now, the one that's gonna really hit hard is when I don't know if it's anytime soon, but the lead singer of Green Day, who's my favorite band of like all time, Billy Joe Armstrong, that's gonna hit me.
Yeah, I had a celebrity death that hit me that happened, I believe last Saturday night, if I remember correctly. My childhood hero, the man who inspired me to be the man I am today. The reason I always wanted long hair because he had long hair and he was awesome. Jason David Frank, the guy who played Tommy in Power Rangers, fucking hung himself last weekend, and
Jesus.
I'm not okay. Like, the people are gonna think I'm fucking sociopathic because I chuckle whenever I say it. I like laugh to avoid being sad. Like I make jokes
Oh
and I just
yeah.
like laugh to avoid being sad. So like I chuckle every time I mention it, but make no mistake, I'm fucked up about it. That's why my profile picture is the White Ranger in solidarity because he
I
was
was
he was the
wondering
White
what that.
Ranger. Yeah.
Mine's still the three whoopers.
It is in fact the three Woopers. That is true. Um,
Hey, sorry. I know you. I know we don't talk about games we're playing, but I just got a Charcadet over Wonder Trade, and I've been trading for the past hour and a half.
that
It
was your specific goal, so I'm glad that you
was my
achieved it.
specific goal. Riley has a very, very well, not very strict, but a very big no rule on playing video games and talking about said video games while on said podcasts.
Yeah, I'm fine with it for time to time. You're not like an awful offender. The thing is,
See,
my
I'm
friends
only
my
like,
friends just love to annoy me. That's the thing, and it makes me upset. And like even when I try to seriously tell them to knock it the fuck off, they won't. I don't know what I'm stuck with them. Like I love them and I want them to be my co-host, but also they infuriate me and I can't stop them.
see,
people
I've been
people
good.
like
I used
people
to be
like
really, really bad about it, but
yeah, but like people like Demi Gloom and Jason, and specifically those two, I think are the biggest defenders. Because the thing is, my rule has always been, if you're gonna play video games, hide it. Like the rule is don't play video games, and as far as I know, you aren't playing video games unless you bring attention to the fact that you're playing video games.
like what I just did because I've been searching for this thing for an hour
Yeah,
and a
yeah, yeah.
half
I'm fine with you
on
doing it. I knew you
fucking.
were Wonder Trading. You're not actually playing the video game. You're just pressing the Wonder Trade button. That's fine.
I
I also
also, just to let you
I hatched
know,
a Pokemon egg in a Nuzlocke during this recording too. Like the acid shit is fine.
also just to let you know, I do have a Fuecoco here for you as well. If you want the third, I require nothing of it for it. But
Okay.
so if you want it, we can talk after.
I will take
Um,
Crocodile, Pepper Crocodile.
yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't need it. I already have all three. So, but yeah, I got really excited because Charcadet is really, really hard to find in the overworld because it spawns everywhere, but it's a rare spawn everywhere. So I don't feel like running around the world. So I was just like, all right, I'll just wonder trade until I get it. And like, hypothetically, technically, eventually I will get it. Eventually.
It's statistically improbable that if you just hit the trade button 1,000 times, that you won't eventually receive a Charcadet.
Yeah, statistically, I will eventually get one. I have a 1 in 400 chance of getting it every single time.
Yeah, something like that.
I had to go catch this little hoppip right next that was standing right next to me because I was sitting on a rock wonder trading for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because the Charcadet was the one wonder trade spot, and I only have one wonder trade spot open at a time, and then I go catch a random Pokemon to release into the wonder trade system for like hours on end for him to jump around game to game for endless eternity.
Just
like,
forever.
I would like to hope that this Hoppip does find a nice home someday, but it's going to be stuck in Wonder Trade forever.
Yeah,
But
forever, for all space and time. But what I was gonna say is the death of Jason David Frank was like the worst because it's like the slow burn type of news because it came out as a rumor before it came out officially. So I was just like I was up way too late, like playing Pokemon or some shit. It was 3 a.m. And I checked Twitter. I see that Jason David Frank is trending. So I click on it, and half the posts are R.I.P. Jason David Frank, you are my hero. And the other half of the posts are, this is a hoax, guys. Don't pay attention to this. There's no confirmation. It's not real. So I go to bed at 3 a.m. thinking, wow, did my childhood hero hang himself? We don't know yet. And then I had finally made it to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and still there's no official confirmation, but it's starting not to look good. Like, first of all, if it had been a hoax, realistically by that point, I think Jason David Frank would have taken to Twitter and been like, "Oh, I'm dead. I didn't know," or like some dumb joke. We didn't hear anything. We got one like confirmation from a friend, but he really, it was just like some dude that like knows him, so like maybe he was tricked too. He didn't really specify how he found out. There was some vague sad posts from castmates from Power Rangers. And then finally the news broke like that afternoon that he did in fact hang himself and die at 49. And that it's rough.
I think the one that kind of hit me, not like depression hit me, but just like a little realization, like fuck kind of deal, was when Tom Petty passed away, the musician. It was like the realization that all these great artists from the 60s through the 80s that I absolutely love and adore and grew up listening to, because that's all my dad played on like the radio and stuff, so that's what I've grown to love.
Yeah.
The realization that someday they're going to stop making music and they're going to pass away, and it's really hard to, like, if you sit down and like constantly think about that, you're going to drive yourself insane. But it was that one, because that was the first music. Like, I've heard of other musicians like passing away and stuff, but Tom Petty was the first one that was like, that's a name I actually know. Holy shit.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
And that was the one that really hit me. Like, not like I was like tearing up about it, but it was just like a fuck, I'm gonna have to hear about this for the next 20 years. Every single year someone's gonna go, and it's gonna be rough knowing that it's just they're never gonna make music again. And it was like the start of like musician. It was like that first time where you realize that like all these people aren't like immortal, you know what I mean? Like, you look up to these celebrities and these musicians and these actors and actresses, and you see them as like completely different people, and you don't realize that they're just like everybody else and they're all going to pass at some point, but you don't realize it.
It's
And
just
like that's part of the reason why I do a YouTube channel and try and get like and do like a little bit of a podcast. It's not the main reason. The main reason is because it's fun and it gives me something to do, and I enjoy and I enjoy, and I genuinely enjoy the time that I do these things. But it's like ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to like solidify my name somewhere out there. Whether it was like when I was a kid, I always wanted to like become a civil engineer and build a bridge and name the bridge after me. So like that bridge would live on as like me. And
That's
people,
sick as fuck. What a great dream.
it was a great dream, and then I shit all over it and didn't go to didn't do anything in college. but
Man,
like,
I
but
always
like, it
wanted
was
to
a
get my
great
name out
dream.
there.
But like, that's the thing. This is the next best thing, and it's the easiest way to get your name out there. As long as YouTube stays up and Spotify stays up, it's like a legacy. I have it out there. You have like a little portion of my life solidified on the internet right there.
That's
You don't know
true.
anything. Like, that's why I like doing small talk here and there. Just like keep it updated, keep my life updated on the internet because I don't update it much.
Yeah.
But it's like a little bit of selfishness to like just take me, put it on the internet, and basically just like keep it there and be like, all right, this is here forever. And that's me. This is what I've done with my time when I was such and such in this year. And it's crazy. But like it's the next best thing.
Yeah,
But
I think I've always kind of had a knack for like entertaining. Only recently have I come into the conclusion that like I'm a comedian. Like I want to do something with comedy, and it's like I have self-doubt. Most of the time I'm like, I'm not fucking funny. Right now I really don't feel like I'm fucking funny. Like we're doing a good podcast, but in
this is
general
a
I'm
good
just like,
podcast, but like the premise has been death and pets.
no, I'm not even saying
But
like right now. I'm just saying like right now, even though I'm doing a good podcast, I still in my mind I'm like, I'm not fucking funny. Nobody wants to listen to what I have to say.
but there's
Um
so many people out there that like I don't think people want to watch my videos. But then I go and upload like literal like literal shit in my mind of just like this is just a filler video for the week basically. So like my most recent upload besides the one that I released as we were recording the guessing the Pokemon cries, last week I uploaded Minecraft mob tier list, and this was literally just a filler episode basically of a
I
video.
did see that. Did you do that with Gooch Massa, or did you do it on your own?
Gooch Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah, I recorded that like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I recorded that the same day I recorded Pokemon We Could Take in a Fight. So I recorded that about a month ago, and that was uploaded 7 days ago.
Now I have some crazy backlogged shit because Jason, you see, I find it really convenient to bulk record. I like bulk recording.
It's so nice, and that's
Um,
why I try not to date things that I know won't come out for a minute, right?
but
Like I
Jason,
know this episode will come out on Wednesday or Thursday, sometime this upcoming week,
yeah,
assuming things go the way that they're supposed to. Which is
but
why
yeah,
I don't mind dating it and being like, "Oh, how was your Thanksgiving? That was a few days ago." I don't mind dating things like that. But if I know I'm bulk recording and I'm on like the fifth bulk recorded video, I don't mention the date or the videos at all. It is a standalone video, and it is really, really um like it's really strict. Like I will literally be like, we don't mention the month, we don't mention the year, we don't mention the day, anything. We just focus on the video, and that's it. Because if you
he-
date my videos, then it's like, oh, you recorded this how long ago? And like, I don't like it.
so what happens with
Yet
my
I still
videos?
bulk record a whole shit ton of stuff.
What? Okay, so here's what happens with my videos, right? Where I did like a huge backlog because I was just like working with people, I was making content, so I backlogged just like unreasonable amounts of YouTube videos. And Jason only puts out one a week, and also at some point, like earlier this year, he took like a month-long break. So there are videos coming out on my YouTube channel that were recorded fucking 4 or 5 months ago. Like me and Demigloom, there's a let's play that comes out every once in a while, like an episode comes out like every 2 weeks of our Ben 10 Protector of Earth let's play. We recorded all of those episodes within the same 2 week period, I don't remember when exactly it was, but I know one of the earlier episodes was recorded literally on 4th of July. So this all happened within July, and there are still episodes coming out.
Oh boy.
So
See,
that's
my
fun.
backlog never lasts very long. It usually will like a decent backlog will last like maybe a month of uploading videos. And even then, like this Minecraft mob tier list, I recorded this last month. However, it just came out last week, mainly because I try not to do like all 5 of me and Gooch Mess's videos, or all 4 or whatever. I don't like having those all come out right one after another, which is why we recorded Who's That Pokemon? Like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
And I immediately uploaded that video because the previous video was a tier list, and I don't want to do tier list, tier list, tier list, tier list. I want to do tier list video, tier list. I want to spread it out so it's different each week.
so how my
Now, if I can't
schedule
now if I can't help it, then it gets uploaded anyway. Like if I only have one video,
yeah,
but I try and do the oldest video unless it's like the exact same, because I did 2 tier list videos in a row. So I was like, well, now I have to upload something else other than a tier list, or else it's gonna feel repetitive.
I gotcha. So how my schedule works right now, is it's basically like I have this big backlog, and also me and Jason have started a bi-weekly manga discussion series where we discuss chapters of Berserk, the classic manga that people really like, that he's super into, and I'm reading for the first time. So basically, how my schedule works right now is Berserk. It goes Berserk Ben 10, Berserk Pokemon. That is the pattern that it goes in right now. For
Yeah, but it's
reference, by
not
the
like
way, Colo,
you're not doing 4 Berserk or 4 Pokemon in a row. That's what I'm just getting at.
no, but we did. When I say Pokemon, I'm talking about our showdown tournament. We recorded 6 of those like 3 months ago. One of them is out.
I did notice that. Yeah, you finally put the one out.
One of them is out. There should be another one coming next week. I think so. Yeah, because we didn't do a Berserk, so a Ben 10 came out the week before this one. Jason took this week off because Thanksgiving. So next week Gen 2 will probably drop. Um, but yeah, so that's how big my backlog is. This shit's coming out after months. In fact, I believe either recently or maybe even not yet, an episode of Protector of Earth dropped that we discuss. Me and Demigloom discuss. We form the premise of our Ben 10 podcast that has now existed for months and has 7 episodes.
See, that's why I don't get a backlog more than 5 videos, and even then I don't try and, like earlier I mentioned that there's a lot of dead air on the next video. I don't mention what it is. I just talk about it in general. So like when I upload it next week, if for some reason I don't get to it next week and I upload something else, it's like, oh, you said that there was going to be dead air on it, and that like there's always going to be dead air on things except for Detour Ahead, because we're not restricted by literally anything on this podcast. We can talk about whatever
No,
we
we
want.
can do whatever the fuck we want. It's our
That's
free
why that's why I like
playground.
doing this podcast, because we literally hopped in here and we're like, yeah, we're going to talk about Pokemon, and then we started talking about Death and Puppies.
Yep.
And we have not talked about Pokemon other than the fact that I am playing the game.
I had all my fucking
Correction,
Pokemon talking points
was playing
ready.
it. Correction, was playing the game. Wink, wink.
Whoa, wink, wink. Hey, hey. Ooh.
No, I'm still playing.
I know, Call of too.
But no, I'm just wonder trading. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to complete the like. I think I need Shelgon to complete. Not complete, but like I think I need a Shelgon right now, because I have Bagon and Salamence, but I don't have Shelgon, and I need Shelgon.
Yeah, get that shell gun.
So I'm just wonder trading, hoping that it will show up. And like statistically, I have a 1 in 400 chance of getting a Shelgon every single time. So eventually it will show up. But
Real quick, there is one Pokemon thing I would like to discuss. I had this like on my list of things, and I was looking forward to talking about it. Uh, there's a certain character in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that has been very divisive in the Pokemon community. Split down the middle. The Pokemon fans are about this particular character. My personal opinion on this particular character is that I adore them, and they are my new Pokemon waifu. It's Nimona, is who I'm talking about. Nimona is the best. She's perfect. I love her. How do you feel about Nimona?
Nomona's okay. I don't hate her. She's better than Hop. So like it's a big step up from Hop. I didn't like Hop at all.
She is a better rival than a lot of recent rivals in terms of character.
Yeah. Um I think
She might
the
not be as
last time
competent as like Hal, but she's definitely a better character than Hal. Hal had a fucking tough team, but he did not talk tough. He was just like, "Hey, I'm a cool guy. Have some revives."
she reminds me a lot of like Barry
She definitely has Barry energy. If I had to compare
from
her,
Diamond Pearl.
if I had to compare her character profile to an existing rival, it would probably be Barry.
It would probably be
Maybe
I feel like
Charon
I feel like
also.
it's a mix of both. Like that
Barry and
competitive aspect,
Sharon. Yeah,
but
that's the mix.
very, very energetic. I like her. I wouldn't say she's like waifu material, or at least like top of the line, because clearly there is one correct answer and one answer only for that spot.
Is it Cynthia? Is that where this is
No,
going?
no.
Oh, no.
In terms of Scarlet Violet, it is.
Oh, okay, who is it?
Oh, my Switch died.
Oh no.
Damn, that sucks. Luckily, I have autosave on. But it's Dino Mommy, Professor Sada.
Okay. Okay, I get you. There are a couple waifus in this game. The nurse is pretty hot. She's pretty good. But Nimona might just be my number one Pokemon waifu now. I'm super into the fucking like hyperactive, loves to battle personality. I love her design. I love everything about her. I want to marry Nimona in real life. She is my Pokemon waifu.
Dino Mommy.
Okay, yeah,
Dino
that's
Mommy.
she,
Dino Mommy is the way to go.
listen, she doesn't topple Nimona for me. However, mommy.
Yes. What part of the Titan story are you on?
uh Hold on. Let me check my guide for the last one that I beat the shit out of. See if I'm correct. I think it was the steel one, but I could be wrong. I might have beaten one more. Let me check my guide because I know the last boss that I fought, so I can go backwards from there. Yeah, I fought. Last person I fought was Larry, who was the normal gym leader. So the last Titan I fought was, yeah, it was the Steel Titan. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. So that gives me a good idea. So I'm not gonna ruin it. Uh yeah, I'm not gonna ruin anything else.
I don't care about spoilers. It's fucking Pokemon. It's not fucking the Passion of the Christ. It's not Breaking Bad. I don't care about plot spoilers.
Well, it's not like plot.
I don't know
Basically,
why Passion of the Christ was my example. I think everybody knows how the Bible goes.
how? Dude, don't spoil it. I haven't read it
Spoiler, bro.
yet. Anyway, no, basically, Dino Mommy and Future Daddy have been completely absent from Arvin's life for like years. Like multiple years, like 2 years. Like completely absent, no conversation, no nothing, no like, hey, how's it going, son? They're both just completely absent from this kid's life, and he's just like all pissy about it. But
Yeah.
you find out why later, but yeah, they've just been completely absent. But like Dino Mommy all the way. But
Did I save when I turned my Switch off?
dude, that's why I have autosave on. I'm not worried. I'm not even worried that my Switch turned off because Wonder Trade saves after every single one. So
I also have autosave on, but like I don't it kind of triggers randomly. I don't know what progress I would have lost.
Look, I
Although
have no.
I've heard turning autosave off reduces the performance issues.
Does it?
That is the rumor that I've heard.
Look, I turned it off earlier today for like 3 hours and it crashed all that whole time. And I wasn't saving actively because I forgot about autosave was off. So now it's back on.
Apparently, yeah, the game crashing is obviously a problem that you don't want to face if you do it that way. But from what I've heard, the way to make the game perform optimally is to turn off autosave and also, if it's on your SD card, move it to your system memory.
I don't have an SD card.
Colo Chew, wow. How do you even have any storage?
Oh, it's just all Pokemon. Any other game gets shafted immediately the new Pokemon game comes out.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I think the only ones that have data on there are I think Let's Go's gone.
Rude.
BDSP's gone because I don't really care. Sword and Shield is still up. Shield is gone. Sword is up. Sword is the main copy I have. And then just like Smash and Mario Kart, I think.
Fair enough.
Maybe Steven Universe is still up, but that's a big maybe. But like I'm very conscientious about the about data on the Switch. If something's got to go, it's got to go because I have a new game, and that other game is not as important as new game. So
True.
I feel
Old game not as good as new
I just
game.
think about it as, have I touched this game recently? No. Oh, it's been years? It's gone. Don't care about it. I could sell it and have zero qualms. I don't care. But I think BDSP might still be up on the Switch. I know Let's Go's gone. I transferred all those Pokemon to home and I deleted everything. Because I will probably never go back to Let's Go.
Uh-oh. Why? Let's Go sick.
No, Let's Go's cool. I have no need for it anymore because Scarlet Violet.
Sure. I haven't beaten Let's Go yet. I haven't beaten a lot of games. I think I gotta go through. Once I beat Violet, I think I'm gonna try to focus my attention on beating Pokemon games that I have not beaten yet. Which it's kind of unfortunate because all of the old Pokemon games that I've made progress in recently are games I have beaten. So I've made like no progress towards this goal. Like I've been playing nothing but Pokemon on Hellscape like forever. But I've been playing Pokemon White, which is a game I've already beaten. So all that Hellscape shit has made no progress towards the goal. And the other game that I was playing actively was Ultra Moon, which I guess I haven't beaten Ultra technically, but I don't really count that because they're just the Emerald of Sun and Moon, and I've beaten Sun. So
Yeah, basically. I will say, speaking of Pokemon, you will be happy to know according to go listen to Pokemon Variety Hour anywhere podcasts can be found. I have started the Pokemon anime back up. I am currently
let's go.
I completely skipped over Johto because Indigo League and Johto.
I've heard Johto's very good, but
look, I'm not a big fan of Johto. I know Penguin's gonna crucify me. I love the Pokemon.
I'm gonna crucify you. Johto is my Gen 2 is my favorite gen.
Look, I have a real big nostalgia. I'm a nostalgia whore for Gen 3, so I had to start with Gen 3.
I
remember the anime for Gen 3 and the characters being very, very good. I remember Gen 4 being very, very good, and I don't want it to be interrupted by Gen 2, which is why I started with Gen 3. I am currently 8 episodes in. I just watched Jesse and James I just watched Jessie get her Seviper.
So the thing about Gen 2 and the Pokemon anime is it is like such strong character development for that's when Ash becomes competent. In Hoenn, he just is competent the whole time. But
I
as
have
you remember
noticed that, but
in Indigo League,
I can like rewatch it later. I have a motivation to watch Pokemon, and I think the motivation will stick with me for a minute if I go and watch something that's appealing to me, like Gen. If I watch something that I'm like, if I don't want it to feel like a chore. I want it to feel like, oh hell yeah, I'm watching Pokemon again.
Fair
So
enough. And I imagine you don't care about fucking 1999 Pokemon anime spoilers before I go into this.
I don't.
Okay, so basically it's like, if you remember at Indigo League, he had his moments, but he mostly sucked. Was bad. um, then in Orange Islands, he kind of comes into his own. He becomes the champion of Orange Islands, but then he gets his butt kicked by an Eevee immediately after. So he's like, okay, I guess I do have more to learn. I guess we're going to Johto. And Johto is where he like comes into his own for real. Like Johto is the region where Ash becomes like a force. Like he grows and he develops. He has to say goodbye to a lot of his old friends and make new ones. And he's like, all right, I gotta raise these new boys. I gotta be competent and I gotta become the best trainer I can. Obviously, he does not win the league because he's not allowed to do that until Alola. But he does beat Gary during the league before being eliminated. That's like the thing. That's like
Yeah.
the big like finish line that he crosses is that he beats Gary in the Johto League, and that's like the real like, okay, Ash is good now.
See, I'm a nostalgia whore for Hoenn, so like I figured if I'm gonna get back into a very repetitive anime like Pokemon, where like each episode somewhat feels the same, like in Indigo League, I wanted to start somewhere where it's like this is actually fun to watch. I didn't want to watch Johto because I'm not a big fan of Johto. I know I absolutely love Hoenn, so I want to go see Hoenn. And the Pokemon anime is one of those shows where like you can literally just throw this bitch on shuffle and watch random episodes at random times and still relatively feel the same about everything.
Is that what you're doing, or are you going in order?
Oh God, no! I'm going from
Okay,
the
good,
very
good, good,
beginning.
good, 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 good. Here's the thing.
Technically, I did watch one episode of Johto. Technically, I watched the very, very last episode of the last season of Johto, where
Doesn't he get to Hoenn in that episode? So it's
yes,
like, yeah, okay.
yeah. So technically, it's a part of Johto, but
Doesn't that episode like mostly revolve around a Pikachu and Meowth subplot? I feel like I remember watching this episode.
kind of, a little bit.
Like it's
I
half
think
Pikachu
so.
and
I don't
Meowth's
remember.
adventure, and it's half Ash gets to Hoenn.
Yeah, it's the last episode of Johto is Ash is on the boat with his Pikachu, and the boat goes under because Team Rocket is being an asshole or being assholes. And they have
Pikachu
to
and Meowth
dock.
get lost together, right?
Yeah,
That's the
basically.
thing. Yeah. So
I always love those interactions of Pikachu and Meowth. They're like just stranded together, and like it's really interesting to see those two get stranded, and they're like literal mortal enemies, but they seem to always get in these situations where they're just like they look at each other and they're just like one of us is gonna die if we don't work together, and I don't want it to be me, so might as well help you out.
yeah, there's about a 50-50 shot here, so let's just work together.
If you get in trouble, I will abandon you. However, we're gonna work together to try and get back to the people we're supposed to. And then the next episode is literally, I fucking hate you, come with me.
Yeah, fair enough. But the thing about the Pokemon anime is I respect your decision to go with Hoenn. Hoenn is not a bad arc, especially because Battle Frontier. Once you get to Battle Frontier, that's like one of the sickest arcs in the anime. But if you're just picking a series to watch in the anime and you haven't seen most of them, my recommendation and what I tried to beg you to do, and I believe Anaru also tried, is X and Y. The X and Y anime is just like they just stepped their game up like to a ridiculous degree.
But you see, I want to start with something that's like not that it's not original. I wanted to start older. I want to go through because like
you wanted to hear some Veronica Taylor Ash.
I want to watch multiple. I want to be able to binge the fuck out of this for like at least a month or two. And I know if I start in Hoenn, it'll give me the motivation to get to Sinnoh. And then Sinnoh will give me the motivation to get into Gen 5, and then I'm going to stop. So
it's just skip Gen 5 and go to X and Y.
Oh, no, I planned on doing that. Penguin already told me don't watch Gen 5, so.
I like Gen 5 personally, but that's just because I like Gen 5's pacing was very good, and I liked the characters, but it is definitely a step back from Diamond and Pearl, and X and Y is a fucking gigantic leap forward. So
Yeah, no.
that makes Black and White feel pretty weak, but I like Black and White personally.
The plan is to watch all of Gen 3. We'll see how I'm feeling after Gen 3, move into Gen 4, skip Gen 5, go to 6, 7, and then finish up with 8.
So the thing anytime I recommend the Pokemon anime to people, it's always X and Y. Like I'm excited for you to get there because
I'll get to X and Y eventually, but like
it's
I
fucking
can't guarantee it's gonna be
amazing,
anytime soon.
bro. It's so good. It has no right to be as good as it is. Cause like even the upper echelon of the anime beyond X and Y, like second place is Diamond and Pearl. And Diamond and Pearl are sick. They're good. But X and Y is fucking amazing. Like it's the only arc of the anime that like I could put next to like other animes that aren't part of a 20-year long franchise and be like, this has as good of a plot as some of these. X and Y just like they went unnecessarily hard with the plot. And it was actually really good.
I chose 3 because of nostalgia.
Yeah, that's fair. And
I love the Gen 3 Pokemon. I want to hear Mudkip and Trico say their names a bunch of times. It was chosen out of pure nostalgia. If I was like hardcore fan, I would have started right back at Indigo League and just worked my way through and suffered.
Well, you already watched Indigo League. You could watch fucking Pokemon Johto doo though.
Also, Gen 3 has some of the best starting openings out there.
They all slap. That's true.
So like that was the other thing, and that's like what I miss about watching anime is because like I'm a big music nut. I love music, so when shit starts with music at the beginning, it really like I just want to get to the song again, but I have to watch an episode, so it forces me to like continue.
The great thing about the Hoenn arc, I actually really like the Hoenn arc a lot. I'm still over here trying to shadow convince you to watch X and Y instead. But the Hoenn arc is very great in its own right, and I think the crux of that is like the character development does not stop. Like it never stops until Black and White is when it stops. But just
isn't it hard reset at Black and White where they're just like
they go dummy.
Don't they just go and grab
dumbass?
Don't they just go grab Indigo Ash and just throw him in fucking Unova and be like, here you go?
It's definitely like the past 4 animes did happen. Like in the timeline, it's like this did happen. Ash did all this great shit, but now suddenly he's a fucking idiot. He's so dumb. But the only reason I love the Black and White anime so much is because if you're there for just like sick Pokemon battles, they did that. The pacing when it comes to just like having great Pokemon battles is so perfect. Cause like 2/3 of Black and White is like awesome gym battle, tournament arc, a couple more awesome gym battles, another tournament arc. There's like 3 or 4 tournament arcs in Black and White, and also all of the gym battles slap. So if you're just looking for cool looking anime Pokemon battles, that's what Black and White is for.
No, I'm looking for nostalgia and cute Mudkip noises.
Fair enough. So Hoenn is the good place. What I like about the Hoenn plot
Hoenn is the cute little anime that you watch in your free time.
No. Hold on.
It's not the most adventurous, but it's definitely cute. It's adorable. It's like little kid vibes.
Again, I've reached this point in life where I try to have a deeper appreciation for literally every media, and the Hoenn anime is no exception. Because the way it treats the characters is so good that the arc is basically like Ash has decided to get stronger and to like experience the Pokemon world without it being unfair. He's gonna do the hard reset, and he has a hard time getting used to that. I don't know if you noticed this, Colo. This is one of my favorite details. I believe it's episode 1 or 2 of Pokemon Advanced that Ash gets attacked by Team Rocket, and he immediately reaches for where Bayleaf's Pokeball should be.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's
no,
like,
I saw that.
Bayleaf, go, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. So it's like he's getting used to the hard reset. He's still not used to doing that. And then May comes along, and May's plot is literally Ash but better. And because she goes through like the exact same character arc almost, and the endearing part about it is her mentor is Ash. So like Ash is teaching who is essentially the new Ash. Like May, if you look deep into her character and her arc, she's into contests instead of battles, but in all other aspects, she is Ash Ketchum, but maybe better.
And then
And
there's Max, little literal toddler
fuck
baby
Max. Nobody
idiot.
cares about Max.
I love Max. Max is such a good side character.
But like Ash being a mentor to May is like the perfect thing for him. Because he's at the point he is a good trainer now. Like I said, Johto was about him becoming a good trainer. So he shows up in Hoenn, he's getting used to the hard reset. He's going through the Hoenn gyms, he's battling with his fucking Trico and shit, and he's kicking ass. And meanwhile, the other aspect of his character is that he's teaching May and that he's a mentor. And that is really good for his character. After he reaches that sort of apex in Johto where like he is a good trainer now he's going to pass that knowledge on to a younger, less experienced trainer, and it's really endearing. That's one of the most endearing things about the Hoenn anime, and also his Sceptile kicks fucking ass through this Trico / Grovyle / Sceptile fucking slaughters shit, and it's sick.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of nostalgia, but I've also heard very, very good things about Gen 3. So I figured, you know what? This is a good place to start. Like I said on Pokemon Variety Hour with our episode with Anaru, I've never really actually watched the Pokemon anime. I've seen like bits and pieces here and there, but I've never actually like watched a legitimate season before. So I figured might as well start now. I finished up Disenchantment a couple weeks ago or like a week ago, and I've started on Pokemon almost immediately. So I also figured going hand in hand with Pokemon Violet or Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I'm in a Pokemon mood. So it's like that little feeling of like I'll play the video game all day and then I'll watch the Pokemon anime at night once I'm done playing video games. And it's like I'm a child again, and it's fun and it's nice and it's a good thing. It's very good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
But
I was watching Journeys, but I've kind of dropped that now, and now I'm just watching Power Rangers SPD. So
understandable.
my Pokemon anime journey is temporarily concluded. I'm probably gonna watch X and Y at some point. Or if me and Anaru or me and whoever start that podcast where we do like radio commentary on all of Ash's gym battles and league battles, which is one of the best ideas I've ever had, and I definitely do want to do it. That will lead me to rewatching the whole anime from the very beginning, which will be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be a big chore. But
A big chore. But man, I just small moments always get me. Like people will like be annoyed by me obsessing over small moments. I fucking adore the fact that Ash has built such a relationship with like his Pokemon in his journey that he has like muscle memory attached to it. That even though he knows that he left all of his Pokemon, he gets attacked by Team Rocket and immediately out of muscle memory, he's like, Bayleaf, go. Oh shit. I don't got him.
I do love his cockiness in the anime though, where he literally like he walks into Petalburg Gym and he's like, I'm gonna fucking challenge you. And Norman's like, alright, gym rules are it's a 3v3. And he's like,
Ah,
shit,
shit.
I only have Pikachu. And they're like, what?
And then
Like Norman's such a good dude. He's like, this isn't gonna be a regulated battle, but I'll battle you
I'll
anyway.
battle
And I'm
you.
like, dude,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. That's so nice.
Does Norman kick his ass? I don't remember.
Oh no, he absolutely wipes the floor with Ash's Pikachu.
Fair
Ash's
enough.
Pikachu, even though it's went through like 5 seasons worth of fucking bullshit, or however many seasons there are.
It defeated a Regice. Or no, that was after. It defeated a Dragonite in Orange Islands in like a climactic battle after that Dragonite killed a Charizard and a Squirtle and a Tauros.
But
So
the one
Pikachu has
thing that I
proven
have,
himself to be super strong.
the one thing I have noticed is they actively, or they just recently, in terms of me watching in this season in advanced battle, um,
You're too advanced at battle already? You got through advanced all the way?
no, is this not?
No, the first season is advanced. It's Pokemon Advanced.
Oh, then it's just advanced. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Calm down. I don't know my seasons.
I know. I
I've
thought
never
you
seen
did.
this shit. I've never
I
seen
was
this
like,
shit
holy
before.
shit. I thought you had gotten through like all 40 episodes of Advanced already.
No, Team Rocket just got a Seviper. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah, okay.
early on. I'm very early on. They just sent away their coughing Arbok.
Oh, that guts me. That's like the saddest thing ever.
It was so sad. They're literally just fighting the poacher dude themselves, and I'm just like, no. But no, I literally just started. I'm only like 6 or 7 episodes in. But the one thing I noticed was Brock, it Trico and Pikachu are in a battle, and Max wonders why Trico is so easily beaten by Pikachu. Why Trico was so easily beaten by Pikachu,
Well,
and
it's almost
Bronco.
like Pikachu has earned 16 gym badges by
Yeah,
this
but
point.
let me look this up. Brock's Pokemon hype chart.
Okay, Colo, real quick. Let me speed run because like I want to keep talking about this. I don't want to cut it short, but I have to piss now. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So
Jesus
Pikachu,
Christ.
Trico.
Fuck!
What?
You fucking scared the shit out of me. I'm in my own fucking little world on fucking TikTok with my mic muted. Jesus Christ. I've completely fucking zoned out. It was like radio silence. It was nice. Discord wasn't like just fucking nothing. Nobody was talking. I was in my own little world scrolling through either Twitter or TikTok or whatever. And then you go, okay, I'm back. And I'm like, fuck,
Shit.
you fucking made me goddamn fucking. You know, I'm gonna end the episode. Fuck you.
Oh, what the fuck?
No, I'm kidding. You can say whatever
Okay.
you're gonna talk about. I mean, we are almost 2.5 hours in, by the way.
I have a little more Pokemon anime stuff I want to say, and then we could call it.
Oh, that's fine.
First of all, I really like if I remember it correctly, when Ash is like, you gotta have, when Norman's like, you gotta have 3 Pokemon. Ash does very briefly, you can see it in his eyes, like, I got more Pokemon. You better believe I got more Pokemon, but he doesn't waver. He sticks to it. Like realistically, Ash could have fucking like pulled Bayleaf and Noctowl from Professor Oak and kicked Norman's ass. Like these are like fucking Johto League top 8 Pokemon. He is a strong boy. Bayleaf and fucking Noctowl or like Cyndaquil or Totodile, whatever, bring him in there. Could have kicked Norman's ass, I think. But he sticks to it. He sticks to his bit. He's like, all right, to get stronger, I can't just I can't just lean on the same boys. I gotta make my new team in each region, and I gotta fucking train. And that's what he does. He doesn't waver, even though he's like, I want that gym badge, and I got them pokes. He sticks to it, and I like that. I like that a lot.
As of right now, Ash has a Tailo, a Trico, and his Pikachu.
Yep,
So
he's just got the 3 Musketeers. What does he get next? I don't even remember.
don't
I
tell
think
me. Don't tell me.
I know.
I want to find out myself. I'm literally going into this blind because I've never seen this, so this is like a first time through. The only thing I have to work on is vague memories of the Pokemon movies, and that's it. That's the only anime exposure I've ever gotten. So like,
Yeah, it's like
outside of like
I
episodes here and
know I know his entire Hoenn party, but like the last time I watched it in order, I think I did only get as far as like Tailo and Trico. So I don't know who comes next.
so that's why I'm like, I want to get through it. It's only like 4 seasons.
Do you know all the Pokemon he has in Hoenn at least, or have you never heard?
It's been a minute since I've seen a Hoenn movie, so no, I don't.
Uh, the, I'm wondering, are there any Pokemon you remember besides Trico and Tailo?
Torkoal, as we talked
Yes.
about it.
Okay, he does. We did talk about Ash's Torkoal. That's correct.
But I'm assuming, based off the video games, he has to go beat three gyms before he gets to the Torkoal area in Hoenn. So
Yeah, I'm almost certain Torkoal is not next. I have a pretty good idea of who is, but I might be wrong.
I don't know. I know approximately, like, I'm pretty sure they follow the fucking games. Not like to a T, but
They follow the games, but then they just like make shit up also.
oh yeah, I know. They make random fucking towns up, and they're like, yeah, we're going
Yeah.
to Flower Town, and I'm like, that wasn't in the game, and they're like, fuck you, it's now in the Pokemon anime.
I really hope that there is a Pokemon anime that has a good plot. Like, this is my ideal Pokemon anime. You take the pacing of Black and White and like the plot expertise of X and Y, and you do that. Because X and Y had a lot of battles, but like Black and White, it's ridiculous, and I love it. I love that there's fucking like 8 amazing gym battles plus like 4 tournament arcs. It's great. I want there to be a Pokemon anime that's that again, but also has a better plot than Black and White did. That is what I want. Maybe Paldea will give it to me. Maybe he'll enter a bunch of tournaments in Paldea, because I think it is confirmed now that it's not over. He is going to Paldea.
Anyway, I hate to cut things short, but we are
Yeah,
way
no.
over.
It's time. It's
So
all right, Colo. Where can they find you on the internet?
you can find me as Colochu on the YouTubes and the Twitters.
There you go. You can find me. The main thing I really care about is listen to the Issue Crew podcast. It's me and 5 of my closest internet friends. Yes, that number has gone down. Heartsy Protsy has left the show. Demi Gloom was right. She knew it was coming. I was in denial. But our friend Heartsy did exit the show. But there remains 5 of my closest internet friends, which we gather in varying groups and discuss a topic each week. You can find that on YouTube, The Issue Crew, or on podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I think those might be the only 2 right now. There might be a couple more. As The Issue Crew. And all the podcast platform links can be found conveniently if you just type in anchor.fm/issue crew. And there you go. Thank you all for listening. For Detour Ahead, I've been Riely.
I have been Colochu from the Detour Ahead podcast.
I've been Riely from the Issue Crew podcast, and we'll see you next week.